I'm in New York and I just came back from 2 events in a row that completely changed my life. And I'd love to share everything I learned with you so you can implement it and take your life to the next level. It was powerful, it was transformational, it was raw, it was vulnerable, it was real, it was beyond anything I could have ever expected. And it blew my mind. After 10 years of doing this, I still get my mind blown once in a while, and I love it. And I can't wait to share everything with you. So, these events have a really special place in my heart. I have been going to them for 5, 6 years at this point, and they're men's group events. I never even knew things like this existed. But if you think about it, back in the day when we used to live in tribes, there was always some sort of transition when young girls, young boys, young children, they were, it doesn't really matter the age, but they were at that phase, at that point when they were ready to become adults and to discover who they are, what they're here to do, how they're going to be of value and contribution to the tribe, to their family, to the whole collective. And there were always, and there always have been, rituals and transitions and ceremony. Every culture all over the world has had things like that. And one of the most powerful things I've ever heard in my life is that we currently live in a society worldwide where we stopped having those transitions. And the impact of that is that, I'm just going to be very blunt. We live in a world where there are a lot of children, immature, emotionally dysregulated, living in adult bodies. And some of them find their way to leadership positions in companies and governments all over the world. And it creates so much divisiveness, so much separation, so much polarity, so many challenges that could just be resolved. And there's the easiest, most clear way I've ever found of explaining what all of this actually means is think about graduating from college. You know, like there you are living your life, studying to become whatever it is that you want to become. Once you graduated, like you go through all these experiences, you learn all these things, and on that day where you graduated, you became, for example, a doctor. Like, think about this. Let this land. For the rest of your life, you are a doctor. Like, your identity shifted. And it's this identity shift that we stopped having from young teenager to adult. And we just don't have those things anymore. And the impact of that is profound, because the key thing is you don't just do a graduation ceremony. No one signs up to become whatever profession, whatever job, whatever role you want to play in society. No one signs up for it, goes attend the graduation ceremony and gets a diploma. You gotta do the work. You gotta go through the trials and tribulations and challenges. And you don't go through it alone. You go through it with your peers. And hopefully you don't just do it with your peers. You have someone like a teacher, a guide, a mentor, facilitating that process for you. Someone who's done it before, facilitating that process for you. And it's the combination of all those things, getting wisdom from those that have come before us, doing it with our peers, learning all of these skills that we've stopped doing. We go through school, we learn all these cool, awesome things. And by learn, I actually mean we memorize and vomit them onto tests. And no one teaches us how to regulate our emotions. No one teaches us how to become financially free. No one teaches us how to do taxes. No one teaches us how to start a business. No one teaches us how to create an extraordinary relationship. No one teaches us how to set goals. We're set up for failure in the current education system. And believe me, I I have been so blessed. Damn, wasn't expecting to get emotional. I Throughout my life, I have had one after the other, teachers at school that completely changed my life. I've had incredible teachers. But I'll tell you, it wasn't, I don't remember, I mean, maybe some things, but barely anything of the subject that they taught. I remember the life lessons that they taught me, the wisdom that they passed on to me. And I hope that makes sense, because it's this life wisdom that the world is thirsty for, craving for. If you're watching this, there's a part of you that resonates with this. Like we have information everywhere. Now with AI, we don't even need to know it. Like there's so many tools that can support us in creating whatever it is that we want to create in the world, where information is not the determining factor. We are starving for wisdom in this world. And the difference is information is things we hold in our head. Wisdom is things that we live in our life, that are a part of us. It's so different to know that being grateful, that loving unconditionally is important, and it's a valuable thing to strive for in our life. That is so different than sitting in front of a hard conversation, a breakdown in communication at work, a challenging, triggering conversation in your intimate relationship, and being right there in the moment and having the skills to actually be at ease and to navigate it and make it constructive and navigate the conflict in a way that builds intimacy, that builds trust, that builds safety, rather than tearing it down. We're not taught any of these skills, any of them. And the power of going through that transition from young teenager to adult is learning all these life skills, learning who you are. I remember when I was in high school and I was deciding what I wanted to do afterward, and I was looking into all these options of what I wanted to study in college, and I was like, there's nothing. Everywhere I look, there's not a single thing that calls to me, because I don't know who I am. I've spent the last 18 years doing things and never actually pausing to realize, what do I value? What do I care about? What am I passionate about? What do I want to do in this world? Who am I? How do I operate? What's my rhythm in life? We never actually stop to ask these questions. We're in the doing, going from one thing to the next to the next. And because we're not taught different, most of us live in a survival state of living to pay the next bill and to get to the next month and maybe enjoy those 20 days of vacation per year. And we just live that and take it. I've done a video in the past about how we give away our dreams in order to get some certainty. That's what we're taught. That's what we're conditioned to do, is to give away our power, our co-creation ability to do whatever it is that we want in our life, to live a life beyond our wildest dreams. We give that away in order for security. And my friends, the world has never been more uncertain. It will never, like, we live in a time today where it was never more valuable to be able to be with uncertainty, emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Most people live their entire life trying to hold on to that one certainty, that one paycheck, that whatever it is, that one certainty. Because if things are uncertain, all of a sudden, stuff starts coming up. I've made so many videos about this in the past, and I'll keep making them. Like all the stuff we haven't dealt with in our life starts coming up. And that's ultimately what we're running away from. But I want to bring it back to why initiation is so important and what I learned at this event. So in this case, it happens to me. I resonate with men's groups. It's something that has been incredibly supportive to me. And there are infinite, like so many incredible containers and spaces out there doing similar things in different contexts for different people. To me, this just happens to be what resonates. And in this container, one of the most powerful things I've learned, for example, is that there are no good and bad emotions. That was the last episode that we did. And that ultimately has completely shifted how I approach things in my life. But the other really valuable thing that I learned that stood out to me this weekend, this time around, is that when we're going through life, 99% of us are living way below our full potential. Like if you have 0 to 100, where 100 is like the highest, fullest, most awesome expression of you, most of us are not even at a 10%. Because again, we're living that life of certainty. So it's not that we're doing it on purpose, it's that we never even stopped to see and explore and feel into all these different parts of us. And so, for example, we're stuck in the routine of doing our work and doing the day-to-day, and we lost our free time. This is one of the things that sticks with me every single time. Like, I've had the honor and the privilege over the last 10 years to have been in close proximity with a lot of people that by any societal standards would be considered extremely successful. Like, think anything you can possibly imagine, cars, houses, planes, like anything you can imagine, these people have. And the number one thing they want is to have fun, to enjoy time with their loved ones, to be playful, to go out in nature. And for some, it's like they like soccer and they go play soccer. And for some, they like tennis. Like whatever it is that they want isn't what they strived their entire life to get. And so it's just bonkers to me that we live in a culture that rewards us for chasing a thing that's not going to get us what we want. I'm going to say that again. Most of us have been conditioned to spend our entire life chasing something that is not going to get us what we want. And most people don't even know what they actually want, and that's the problem. I'll actually frame this as a question. Are you clear on what you want? Do you have clarity in your body, in your heart, in your soul, in your mind of what it is that is truly meaningful and important to you in life? And are you living your life to strive for that, to optimize for that? Because for most people, the answer is no. Because we are never taught to prioritize that. And so there's all this full expression of us yearning to be lived into. And we're like at 10% at best for 99.9% of the population. Most people, 10% at best. Maybe work is going okay, but you're not getting paid as much as you want. Maybe you're getting paid as much as you want, but your relationship sucks. Maybe you have an extraordinary relationship, but work just doesn't feel fulfilling. Like most of us are just like accepting, tolerating, taking as granted, as if it were the only option, to have to pick and choose. Life is not scarce. Like you don't have to sacrifice something that is deeply important to you in order to have something else that's also important to you. You can have both. You just need to grow into the version of you that can hold both. It's like if you have a bucket of water, You don't need to have just a drop of water in there. You can have as much water as you want as long as the bucket is big enough. That's all there's to it. That's literally it. And the reason why we live at such a low expression of our full essence is what I learned this weekend. Is that we have no one in our lives reflecting that back to us. I can tell you that I've had conversations with my mentors, and I have them all the time, where I just feel like I'm floating on clouds. Like I'm going through a really difficult challenge and they say the thing that makes my whole body relax. Like I remember going through the hardest time in my life and opening up to my mentors and being like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel stuck. I don't know how to get over this. And they just turn to me, look me in the eye and say, you can't get this wrong. Tiago, like it's literally impossible for you to get this wrong. Like you got this. Can't fuck it up. Like you just gotta trust your heart, take the next step, and you got this. If you make the wrong decision, you can learn from that, make a new decision. If something is meant for you and you don't choose it right now, it'll come later. Like there will be another opportunity for it. If something is not for you and you choose it now, you'll have another opportunity in the near future to choose to not go into that. Life is abundant. There's plenty of options, of opportunities. And I just remember my whole system going, and as many conversations like that as I've had some conversations that have felt like Mike Tyson punching me in the stomach, where mentors just look me in the eye and tell me the truth that I do not want to hear, or technically I do, but that is really so uncomfortable. And most of us don't have people in our life doing that for us. Most of us have people that encourage us for doing the same thing again and again and again. Most of us have people in our life that see us doing the behaviors and the things and the choices and the decisions that don't serve us and say nothing. Most of us have people in our life that see us not going for our dreams, that see us settling and say nothing. So the number one thing I learned at this event was how powerful it is to have people in your life that'll just give it to you straight. With love, with compassion, with a heart wide open, but give it to you straight. And I'll share with you how this came up. So we were doing this exercise of like essentially reflecting on like what are the main things that are coming up in my life right now that I feel like don't serve me, that there's this next level I want to rise into. And for me, the number one thing is this podcast. Like I want to grow this. Like I want to serve this to as many young people as I can reach, and as many young people that want to receive this. Because I really believe in mentorship. I believe in sharing these tools, and I believe every young person should have access to them. And this is something that's really deeply in my heart. And so we would get clear on that, and then we would self-reflect on, okay, so what are the things that, oh wow, I gotta show you this. Look at this. I live for this shit. But this is raw and unfiltered, people. Let me put this back and make sure we're good to go. Okay, that should be nice and easy. And I gotta go into my wide stance so you can actually see me. This is fucking awesome. Recording a podcast episode. I was hearing some sound, but I didn't really know what it was. Hey, buddy. You're gorgeous. Thanks for keeping me company. And we were doing the exercise where we then got clear, right? So what are the behaviors, the experiences, the emotions that are holding me back, that are showing up in my life that don't really serve me, that are preventing me from manifesting this thing that I want to create, from taking on this next level. Actually, just for peace of mind, let me make sure I'm still recording. Yeah. Oh, believe me, like one of the hardest things about making content like this is feeling like something is really energetically powerful and then I'm not recording. So I'm really feeling the energy behind what I'm saying. And especially with this gorgeous being right here. Hello. And I want to make sure it's recording. And so we wrote that down and then we would share. And we were doing this exercise and I was sharing and I felt so proud because I feel like I had this list of covering everything. And then this person that I was partnering with turns to me and goes, I love the essence. I love how thorough you were, like really appreciate all of that. But like, I have this feeling that there's something more for you, that there's something that you didn't really, it's not that you held it back, but something that is really calling you that is not on this list, that I can't quite put a finger on it, but I really feel it. And I just paused for a second and it hit me. The number one thing holding me back, I did not write on the list. Let this land for a second. I did my best. I love growing. I really want to learn. I want to move towards this. I want to evolve as a person. And I missed the number one thing. Because guys, like most of the things that hold us back are unconscious. We're not really doing it on purpose. So we can actually even try to look for them and not find them. I've been doing this for 10 years. This is not uncommon, which is why I put myself in environments where there's someone else in front of me giving me feedback on the work that I'm doing. And I remember reading this thorough list of everything else I wrote, turning the page and writing in all caps this one thing that to me is the number one thing holding me back, which is there's a part of me that like really wants to get things right, to be perfect, to be liked. And it's hard for me to not pour my all into something if I feel like I could have done something different or done something better. And so I learned in that moment that in order for me to do better, to expand this podcast, this mission that I believe in so much, I just need to learn and accept to be more okay with things not being quite perfect and just like going through the motions and trusting the energy behind it, because it's not about the perfection, it's about the rawness and the vulnerability and the humanness. And so those are traits and aspects that I want to develop. And I can't make this shit up. I'm staying at a hotel. I usually love to record in nature. And like the hotel is right there, so you could technically still see the building. I just found this nice piece of grass because I was like, I must record in nature. That's what I'm passionate about. That's how I want this podcast to feel. And this is the best I can do right now. And a freaking deer shows up. So I'm even not fully processing this just yet because I think this is awesome. This is the type of miracle that happens in your life when you're living aligned, just like FYI. This really works. You can't tap into your full potential if you're living in isolation. And I don't mean that you need someone else to do it for you. You 100% got it. You can do it yourself. I mean, you're going to go so much faster and so much deeper and so much further if you do it together in community. So my reflection back to you and what I want to offer is how many of us in this world that has never been more connected, are living completely isolated. Even if you're surrounded by people, it doesn't freaking matter if you have 50 people around you all day, if you're not really showing your full self to them. This is how relationships fall apart, is if you're not being authentic and sincere and the real you, what is it all for? I promise you, anything that you're chasing after, that you think that it's the better, sorry, I'm just a little itchy because I get bitten by mosquitoes a lot. Anything that you think you're chasing after that's going to give you whatever it is that you think you want, or get rid of whatever it is that you think you don't want, unless it's coming from a place of having done the inner work to have that desire, that vision be clear, I promise you that for most people, you think the new job is going to change things, the new relationship is going to change things, the new home, the new whatever, and you go there and it's the same freaking experience. This is how zillionaires feel miserable even after they achieved everything they wanted, because they got it all internally, but none of it internally. Wait, I think I said that wrong, because I like to focus on internally first. Because they got it all externally, but none of it internally. The second piece that I learned is that the reason why it's also important to surround yourself with people that call you forward, that invite you to expand, is that they will not only point out to you the things that you might not be noticing about yourself that will support you. In like, I would have never recorded this podcast episode, whatever is coming out of my mouth today would have never reached you, which I hope is valuable. And I would have never had this beautiful experience of seeing a beautiful, gorgeous deer showing up in the middle of a podcast episode when the hotel is right there. This doesn't really make sense. This would have never happened because I would have been like, oh, I really want to record. I feel it. But this is not really nature. It's a little bit fake nature. Because the hotel is right there, like this grass, it wasn't here, someone put the grass here. And I was just like, all right, I feel it, so I'm gonna trust it. I do a lot of work on myself, so I'm very open, and I would have still missed this opportunity. Like, just think about how many opportunities and blessings and miracles you're missing out on life. Just because mosquitoes are trying to get me. Just because you're in your bubble. No one is there with you. You have no one in your life that invites you to grow and expand and go beyond what you thought was possible. This is what the world needs. I have a feeling that in this evolving technological age, it will never be as important as it is right now to be connected, to be human. Just be able to look someone in the eye and feel them. This is what your relationships are calling for. This is what the next evolution of you is calling for. I have done things in my life that seemed impossible to me just because a mentor looked at me and was like, hey, you want to do this thing? Countless times. Like, I remember the first time I facilitated breathwork live at an event. Like, I was invited and I was like, so, like, some of these people have been doing breathwork and personal growth for longer than I've been alive. Like, what am I doing here? And I remember hearing those thoughts, and at that point, I just had the skill because I've learned this and done this so many times, like put myself in uncomfortable situations to be like, oh, this is the thought. This is the thought of fear, of insecurity. And I know like how to like process those emotions and not let that be a stopper. Does that make sense? It's a very different thought than, I don't really feel like I'm meant to do this. That's a different experience. That wasn't the case for me. And so I go, and it's freaking amazing. And it's a great experience, and it's very valuable for people, very enjoyable for me. And it's opened so many doors. And I can tell you 1,000 stories that happened just this weekend or that happened over the last 10 years of having people in my life that invite me to go deeper, to dig further, to like just expand and go and do things that are uncomfortable. Like, the main thing I want to land is I'm trusting this is not just a video you're watching and that it actually moves you, that it actually takes you from inspiration to perspiration to action in your life, and that there's something you find in yourself to do to surround yourself, even if it is with one person in your life, that is going to expand you and evolve you, and that you can cherish and nourish that relationship. And if you already have someone, that you find it in you to invest in that. Because we are here to be so much more than what we're conditioned to be. And this is like, I just want to make this clear. Because in our society, when we hear a sentence like what I just said, it's like, oh, you got to build the big business and do the crazy thing. It can just be an incredible parent to your children, or an extraordinary friend to your friends, and like an amazing partner to your loved one. But most of us are selling ourselves short by a lot. Like, we don't even see it. Whatever it is that you want in your life, it's right there for you. It's within reach. You can do it. It might be extraordinarily uncomfortable. It might require you to grow and expand as a person, but it's so possible. Like, it's right there. Like, it's right there. It's closer than you could possibly imagine. It just requires you to evolve and to change. So I hope this moves you to get off the screen, drop your phone, drop your computer, go to nature, enjoy your day. Your phone will be there tomorrow. Your screen will be there tomorrow. Like, it'll all be there. It's not going away. I hope this moves you to get out there, to go into life with full power, full heart first, like deep dive into whatever it is that you feel compelled. If you're watching this, there's that one thing in your heart that you've been ruminating on, thinking about. Like, if you're watching this, I'm trusting that there's something. And I hope this moves you into actually doing it, diving into it, and hopefully finding and attracting people into your life that are doing the same thing, so that it creates like this upward growth spiral. And within a year, your life can look so different. Your life can look a mile apart from anything you could have ever imagined, way beyond your wildest dreams. Right? I love you deeply. I trust this has been valuable to you. And if you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, all the things you know to do. It really helps grow the mission. And I'm really committed to sharing this with as many young people as I can, so that these tools, these conversations, emotional intelligence, connection, intimacy, vulnerability, like all those human skills that were never taught, I'm on a mission to like share them with as many people as possible. And I would really appreciate your support if you find this valuable and authentic, and if it resonates with you. So please feel free to also share this podcast and this mission with anyone that you feel called to. Please feel free to share it with them. And I'll see you on the next episode.